So a warm welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be connecting to this video, this session that I'm offering for you today. And the focus, the offering being rooting into calm and presence. Whatever might be happening for you, perhaps there's a sense of speed, anxiety, overwhelm even. But there might be also a lot of information to digest. And it's very wise to take time to pause and slow down and cultivate presence in yoga practice, and in essence every yoga practice offering this cultivation of presence. But a particular focus today on presence, finding our center, grounding, calming, stability, and therefore offering you today an experience of landing into this yielding relationship with the earth that allows breath to unfold freely, that allows an awareness and a cultivation and rekindling of fluid communication, of connection and relationship through our body, mind, so that the fragmentation, the lack of cohesion in our experience that can be the experience of anxiety and stress can fall away as we find this inner ground. So we're going to be focused through the practice on this intelligent central axis, the breath, with symmetrical and homologous movements and postures being the base of the practice, and a beautiful listening to our kidneys. So I'd like us to begin by lying down. So we're going to come to lie on our side, and I invite you to have a blanket to hand for your head to rest on. And let's lie here on our side with your lower arm at a 90-degree angle here with the palm facing up. And maybe even that blanket could be folded another time so that your head and neck are in alignment with the rest of your spine. Your knees at 90 degrees, and then just take a moment, and if you brought your hand to the back of your head, that occipital bone, that bony protuberance at the base of the back of your head, and is it in line with your tail? So maybe you need to shift and feel that there's an alignment, this lovely long line, not straight line, but alignment from the back of the head to your tail. And that hand placed there at the back of the head, perhaps allowing the back of that head to soften and spread, where we may be holding tension at the back of the neck and where it meets the head, for the jaw to soften, which allows tension to be released all the way down through body to the feet. The jaw can hold a lot of tension. So just this soft stroking at the back of your head around that bony protuberance of the occipital bone, the gentle touch of your hand there being received by this possibility of soft cranium, soft back of head, wide back of head. And then maybe your hand, your fingers can gently touch through the cervical, the neck, the back of the neck there, the cervical vertebra, so that just at the very top, those top cervical vertebrae in particular, can soften in their relationship to the occipital bone as they soften and meet up into the foramen in the base of the head where the neck meets. Releasing, holding tension and patterns there, and that gentle attention. Perhaps allowing tiny adjustments of where your head would like to be, a widening through the back of the head as we come out of the nervous system at the front, the eyes, the receiving information, looking for information from the front, and receiving the support of space, the support of this widening and softening back of the head, softening the eyes, finding softness through the back of the neck that is already communicating down through to all the rest, soft curves of your spine down to the tail. So finding our back body, soft curves of our back body. From the back of your head here, the occipital bone, through soft 6 curves of spine to that tailbone. What speaks to your tail? Tailbone soft and free. And notice what happens through your front body. Is there a change in the texture and tone of your front body? And then letting this arm gently rest on the side of upper body. placing our attention through this contact of our body on the earth. Through the side of your pelvis, legs, and changing our arm, maybe lowering the blanket and bringing this arm long with the palm facing down, tucking the blanket again between the arm and the head for ease, through an alignment through spine, and noticing the contact through all these parts of side body on the earth. Where there's contact through the foot, leg, knee, pelvis, side body, ribs, armpit, arm, wrist, hand, noticing contact. And as though your body leans into the earth, as though you were on the sandy beach and you lay down on your side and there's that yielding of the sand, the imprint that your body makes on the sand. This body yielding into the earth, leaning into the earth, and the yielding where the earth meets your body. There's no pushing against, there's a meeting, a yielding. And if you like, if you connected to your breath for a few moments, finding natural breath in deep belly, pelvis, legs at 90 degrees, breath in deep belly, pelvis. Breathing in, the in-breath loves to touch deep belly, pelvis. And exhaling, might that exhalation pour through your side body and into the earth. And noticing the feedback loop, so something trickling back up from the earth into your side body, into the trillions of cells, trillions of communities of cells in the hand, in the wrist, in the elbow, in the armpit, in the side body, ribs, intercostal muscles, side of waist, pelvis, trillions of communities of cells, soft and fluid, receiving permission, this feedback loop to be softer, voluminous, their presence, the presence of our side body, the feeling of our side body. Tiny breaths perhaps, softening what speaks to you of soft and fluid. And that dialogue appearing between body and earth. Let any tiny little responses and movements happen through this lateral side body, spine, lateral side body, spine. And still that orientation, back body, supported by the space behind us, so the tone and softness of front body comes in. There's no collapsing forwards, so that we come into this mid-body, the mid-body, midline, central axis that supports front body and back body. From this rekindling of our lateral side body, spine, allowing this three-dimensional central axis. So you may have noticed a slowing down. You slow down to receive and come into this cellular breath. A breath that's whole, nothing separate in body, everything connected in relationship. Allowing any tiny movements through midline, spine to happen, little pulsations, sensations of something wave-like perhaps, slow. In this meeting and yielding with the earth. And so then if we brought this upper arm, long and side body, this other lateral body, we have the lower one meeting earth and this lateral body, perhaps also tiny movements through here, through this yielding to the earth and feedback loop that nourishes our central axis. Ribs connected to spine and deep central axis. Maybe feeling the ribs more so, and the softness that might reveal itself in those intercostal muscles between the ribs, for spine to be nourished. Soft, living, breathing organism of spine, tail to occipital bone, and including the head, 6 curves of spine, unified, one living, breathing organism. Anything that happens at tail, immediately, simultaneously through whole, soft, living, breathing spine. And so there's these lungs, the lower lobe of the lung, the middle lobe of the lung, and behind these ribs and up into the armpit, the upper lobe, deep under the collarbone, into the neck, soft, sliding, gliding, 3 lobes of lungs that slide and glide with one another, and in harmony with central axis, this inherent movement we can't do, soft pulsations and movements of spine, this lower lobe around side of waist into lumbar area, deep. It fills up. The lower lobe of the lung feels so much space in this body. And so could it be that lower lobe, if we breathe into the lower lobe of the lung, imagine our in-breath softly filling the trillions of cells, communities of cells in your lower lobe. We may notice tension somewhere, density, and just letting that be information. not pushing against, and coming back to the sensation of sending your breath there into lower lobe, undoing stickiness, holding patterns over time as you come back again and again to this approach and this attention to lower lobes, so that then the arm could float up, not from the arm, muscles, elbow, jaw or neck, but from the lower lobe, that lower lobe of your lung. And then once your arm starts to move to 90 degrees, there's that middle lobe, soft and voluminous, like gills of a fish. Soft. Freedom in the intercostal muscles, offering freedom to the ribs. Lower lobe and middle lobe, soft and voluminous, all the way up into your armpit. Allowing the arm to float up free and light, the fingertips interested in space and light above. And then the upper lobe joins the lower lobe, middle lobe. Let undulating, wave-like movements continue through. Tiny little breaths continue through. That upper lobe sliding and gliding on middle lobe, and underneath the collarbone, soft upper lobe, finding softness in the neck. Maybe the arm reaches over and we could even let that lower hand touch the upper hand, and feeling the soft undulating movements and pulsations from lower lobe through to middle lobe, upper lobe, this side body. Soft, free, no stretching and pulling with the arm. Everything connected. You may even notice tiny little movements through the pelvis and tail. Swishing tail of a fish. That's really swishing tail, long fish tail, long dragon's tail even. Offering support to this freedom through central axis, side bodies. Part of central axis is three-dimensionality, and then the arm from the mid-lobe, from the lower lobe, including the mid-lobe, upper lobe, sliding and gliding on one another. The arm finds its way back. Resisting any tension through the elbow, wrist, everything of soft sleeve of arm originating from side body. Notice as your arm lands back how it feels through that upper shoulder girdle, collarbone, neck, all the way down to tail. Fish-like body, soft movements, soft body, fluid, tiny movements of spine, central axis, revealing, moving you. And then how would it be to take the legs long on the earth? Maybe the hand comes to support you for a moment, the palm of that long arm facing down. Long body. Ribs snuggled into body. So there's no break through spine, soft curves, unified. Those soft, wide open feet as though standing on earth. And again, checking in, tone of front body, soft tone, no collapsing out front because of melting into mid-body, our central axis that supports us. And that back body, wide back body, communicating with space behind, also supported by central axis. And how about bringing the breath in gently by starting an in-breath from the base, the balls of both your feet, over the tops of the toes, fronts of the legs, knees, thighs, pelvis, belly, chest, neck, face, all the way to the top of, over the top of the head to the back, top of the back of the head, and exhaling back down the back of the head, back of the neck, back of the heart, back of the waist, tail, backs of your thighs, knees, ankles, heels, to soles of feet. Inhaling, beginning at the balls of the feet, over the toes, fronts of feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, thighs, pelvis, belly, chest, neck, face, to the top of the back of the head, exhaling down through the back of the head, back of the neck, heart, back of your waist, that's the lumbar, tail, backs of your thighs, knees, to the ankles, heels, to the soles of the feet, and inhaling again up through to top of the back of the head, exhaling and noticing as you do so, this looks simple perhaps, but noticing where there may be places of numbness or places the breath is not felt, and just letting that be information for you and trusting the flow and staying with this quiet listening, supported by the earth, leaning into ground, supported by lateral side bodies, and those wide open feet as they're standing on earth. Great. And then slowly bending the knees back up to 90 degrees. And to change sides, let's extend this long upper leg, one long body. That touch of your foot yielding to the earth, wide open foot, sending a response up through tail, spine. So let your deep belly and spine and lateral side bodies be the initiator for you to come up. We don't push the arms follow. And there could be this soft cranium lightness from this depth of tail and deep root meeting earth. Sides of spine collecting, changing the legs, and coming to other side. So taking your blanket, softly, softly find your way down to earth. Soft body. And initially, let's fold the blanket and have your arm long, curling the knees up to 90 degrees. And again, bringing that hand to the occipital bone to offer release through that touch of your hand, soft touch of your hand, received by back of the head, occipital bone, offering a dissolving of any holding tension there, where cervical spine connects up through the foramen into the base of the head. That's further in from the occipital bone, that place. So the neck, bringing our fingers to the neck, stroking the back of your neck gently up to occipital bone, seeing if there's this release of occipital to neck, so that neck can softly arrive in its place up through the foramen, the place where the neck meets the base of the head, but that's deeper into the head than the occipital bone here. Realigning, eyes softening, our attention being drawn to back body, out of overactive nervous system through that forward looking, taking information in from the front. We listen from behind, this support from behind, this space that supports us from behind. And you may notice, do you need to shift? So the tail is aligned with the occipital bone. Maybe your hand comes to your sacrum on this side. Just let your hand rest on your sacrum, that snake head-like bone at the base of your spine, where the tailbone right at the bottom of the sacrum. And letting your sacrum feel the touch of your hand and sacrum breathing together for a while. Bringing our energy downwards, into deep belly, pelvis center, sacrum, being breathed there. Tiny pulsations and breaths in sacrum. Let yourself be absorbed. Receiving body. Soft, fluid body. And then this hand resting on your side. Notice the soft tone of your front body now, gathering into mid-body, and this alive, soft back body supported by space, soft curves of your spine, this one living, breathing organism of spine. Hold. And our attention coming to this side body, leaning into earth, resting, leaning into earth, and that possibility of if we, in-breath fills deep belly pelvis here, and exhaling out into the earth through the whole of your side body, as there are tiny roots rooting down, communicating, and there's a feedback loop coming back up. That allows us to feel more, hear the cells. It's as though the cells come into our awareness. The presence of our side body on the earth comes into our awareness. We feel the sensations. We can't force, we can't make it happen. Our wide open and curious attention going with the connection and the contact, the sensation of meeting the earth. Awakening lateral body, fish body, these two lateral sides, the upper, the lower. Fish body, fish, they don't communicate through the front with their eyes like we do. Their eyes are at the side, and their body sensitive. Their whole body sensitive, and the lateral body especially sensitive to what's happening, receiving information. This fluid, supported in fluid ocean. Breathe by fluid ocean. Noticing any places of tension that arise as you rekindle this fluid body, and simply allow the breath to find those places of density or tension, and the breath, the cells finding space, and do their work as we come back and back to practicing this way time and again. Layers of tension and density falling away. So changing the arm and changing the blanket to less thick, and changing the arm now to be long and the palm resting downwards on the earth, and feeling that whole contact through the whole of your side body, the earth welcoming you in, not so that you collapse or become a puddle on the floor, but there's this feedback loop, this tone of side body. Tiny little pulsations moving you through this central axis, this whole living, breathing organism of spine, maybe tiny. On my spine now is this beautiful extension coming in from tail reaching, fluid spine, reach of head. This body, fluid body supported by fluid, so we're in deep ocean. And then that lower lobe of your lung on this side. For the arm to float up from lower lobe. Feeling that breath, inviting breath in the lower lobe, sliding on your mid-lobe, and that mid-lobe comes in for the arm to continue its journey, this voluminous, soft mid-lobe, all the way under the ribs, across the chest, the back of the chest and ribs, under the armpit, and the upper lobe underneath the collarbone, sliding and gliding on the middle lobe, lower lobe, mid-lobe, upper lobe, continuing to offer the freedom for the arms, soft and free, to find its way, perhaps all the way, so that the other one hand can, palm of the hand can rest on the other. That lower lobe gathering towards tail, earthbound, grounding connection of lower lobe. Sliding and gliding on mid-lobe, mid-lobe sliding and gliding on upper lobe. Your ribs receiving nourishment, freeing the ribs, freeing the spine, therefore the thoracic spine, especially the ribs connected to thoracic spine and cervical spine, finding their freedom through unsticking lobes. And then the journey back, initiated by lower lobe, middle lobe, upper lobe. Sliding and gliding on one another, the arm, the fingertips loving their communication with space above, and held and suspended by space. The arm returns, and noticing the continuing of any tiny movements, these gills of a fish that we once were in our evolutionary body, that our body holds still this history of our evolution, these layers of evolution to where we are now. And then taking these legs long, this wholeness of body, this sense of your deep root, front body tone, back body, communicating space, and both front and middle body supported by mid body, central axis, mid body, not fixed, but tiny undulating movements through 6 curves of spine, that the more and more you practice in this way allows you to embody and reclaim this lightness of being. We're not holding ourselves up through muscles, but the beginning of our lightness and ease and movement from the freedom of your spine. Let's bend the lower leg in, extending this upper leg long, still connected through deeps, this whole side body one, from foot through to the neck and head. So this deep belly, rooting tail. The arms simply follow, they don't push us up. It's the spine that brings us up. And let's see how it is to be in sitting. Bringing a blanket underneath you if you so wish, to offer that sense of the femur bones dropping away towards the knees, so there's no tension and holding through this beautiful soft pelvis. So this spine, this undulating, living, breathing organism of spine can still be with us. Habitual sitting, habitual postural patterns through muscles that tense and hold can drop away. Noticing how it is through lower lobes, mid lobes and upper lobes. Continue to support our being here in verticality, the lateral sides of body, integral to this three-dimensionality of central axis. The tone of front body, the integrity of front spine behind front body, and the possibility of no tension and no holding us up through lumbar, gripping in the spine, the back body, but there's more and more freedom for the soft curves of your spine to be breathed. And so this lumbar, deep back of waist opening, earthbound from that lumbar 4, 5 area. And for the upwards, light bound, spine the other direction. So there's this deep opening at back of waist that we can't do, but we rekindle its inherent movement when we offer freedom back. Lateral body, as you know, we have these wings. All the way through to soft sides of neck. So let's bring our attention to the kidneys. Bring our hands, these kidneys that are also actually, the kidneys are at that kind of level of number 4 and number 3, this place, number 4, number 3, 5, where there's this opening at back of waist. The kidneys actually quite in line with that place, interestingly. They sit at the back, just underneath your lower floating ribs. So bringing your hands here, maybe a soft curve through your spine and offering volume to where your hands are touching. Could you breathe into those kidneys? Offer your breath. Offer your in-breath. Offer your out-breath to these kidneys. So that the kidneys can rekindle their liquid softness, communities of cells, voluminous, because this place can often be a place where we might tense, these kidneys, the quality of kidneys, they give us deep calm, this yin-like, soothing presence. Yin, slow, deep, abiding presence. We don't want want to take away from here. So maybe we can come and sit. And explore the kidney meridian lines. Maybe taking one foot to begin and bringing your hand to this ball of your foot, and just at the base, in the middle of the ball of your foot and that soft tissue just below, is the beginning, this bubbling brook, this beginning of the kidney meridian lines. Just massaging your foot there, that contact of your hand awakening this meridian line, this beginning, this bubbling brook where we stand on earth. Also a beautiful place to bring that soothing, grounding kidney energy in. And here our fingers, our hand, and then the other foot, or both feet at the same time, connecting. Just through that gentle pressure, massage of your fingers, awakening this kidney meridian line. In each foot, the beginning, this bubbling brook place. And then from this place, we turn and show you from this place. The meridian line continues up through the inner arches of your feet, through the inner legs, through the inner thighs, up over through the groin, sides of spine, front body, up under the collarbones. So if we're sitting here in this place, that gentle touch of your feet on the earth, those bubbling brooks, feeling them yield to the ground, connect with the earth supporting these bubbling brooks is communication, and then this feeding up through the inner arches of the feet. This meridian line continues, inner legs, through the inner thighs, soft inner thighs, over the groins, up through sides of spine, underneath the collarbones. And all the time, the breath filling these kidneys, soft, never take away. Does that give you something more of connection to that lumbar 4, lumbar 3 area, this back of the waist area, its softness being breathed? So if there's any tendency for you to take away from this kidney area, from this lumbar area, we bring that, soften it, reclaim it. And if you brought your hands behind you to support you as you connect, no squeezing the shoulder blades together, please. We don't want to thrust our thoracic spine or heart forwards or put any pressure on that important aorta, the back of the heart, soft heart, contained, held inside your lungs, soft lobes of your lungs, soft deep back of waist, breathing into your kidneys, breaths filling and softening. And what does that do for deep and long back of waist, that lumbar 4, 3, 5 area? And maybe there's the thoracic spine can come in, and we're not taking away from the kidneys, voluminous. We're not taking away from deep back of waist. Thoracic spine spiraling upwards. And we're still not taking away from kidneys. The ribs soften into body. We're not taking away from long and deep back of waist, that being breathed there. And maybe the cervical spine comes in from that spiraling upwards of thoracic spine. And where that cervical spine meets the base of the head that we explored at the beginning. That soft reach of your cranium, all the way from tail. Nothing separate, no movement isolated. And then gently letting that go. And let's come down to the earth once more to explore. And I'd like us to come down so that you have your one leg bent here, the other leg long, and your arms at 90-degree angle, and resting your head on the earth. I'm going to bring my head up so you can hear me, but if you staying as you are and just feeling, is there room for soft voluminous kidneys? And how is your tail? Soft groins and soft right side of pelvic bone, soft left pelvic bone. The two pelvic bones doing something slightly different, and let them be soft. Tiny movements so your tail and sacrum are free, and you might feel fluid trickling up through spine, through to the head, and all the time your lower arms and hands yielding to the earth, the legs where they contact the earth, yielding to the earth, and your kidneys being breathed. Kidneys have so much space. Long and deep back of waist. And how would it be from those yielding elbows, wrists and hands for a soft response up through the arms, gathering up, and from like anchoring feet, legs. Maybe the elbows come in as you spine. Fluid, undulating spine. Front tone of body, not tensing, but just soft front yielding tone. So your central axis spine, condensing, front condensing spine, deep navel through to pubic bone, soft groins. And there's so much room for your kidneys, a long and deep back of waist. Taking the arms, taking the elbows a little bit further away from you. If you feel that you are taking away from lumbar and kidneys. Undulating spine, quivering tail, rooting, quivering tail, not fixed, but always rooting. Tiny movements of tail, feeding simultaneously the 6 curves of your spine. Condensing front spine. We don't hold ourselves up through our back spine. We don't collapse at that front spine, and that soft front body has tone in its meeting with the earth. Sliding this bent knee leg back, and then let's open our arms to 90 degrees and slide the opposite leg into that 90-degree place. And again, bring that head to the ground. And I'm going to bring my head up so you can hear me. But here, where we give our shoulder girdle all this room, because our arms at 90 degrees out from our body, yielding hands, yielding wrists, that feedback loop, that dialogue. Are we patient in our practice, slowing down to receive this cellular consciousness, this fluid that allows fluid communication and connectivity of relationship? Nothing is random here. There are these layers of connectivity and relationship laid down from the moment, layers and layers laid down from the moment that we were conceived. The midline came in, from where then we grew from over time. These intelligent layers, fluid cellular communication, remembering, holding these organizing, intelligent layers of movement that we can't do. That long leg, enjoying the anchoring foot, that sole of your foot as though standing on earth, that long, deep ankle through both feet, allowing soft feedback up through the legs to soft groins. Freedom through left pelvic bone soft, freedom through right pelvic bone soft, for that freedom of your sacrum and tail, for the whole spine fluid and soft. The connection of the head on the ground, yielding, just like the feet yield, for that feedback loop. And then maybe as we root down through the tail and an out breath through that long leg and bent leg, knee also, having taken care of our kidneys in the same way, maybe the spine, this soft gathering reach of your head and we walk the elbows in, Finding that place. Maybe you need to take the elbows a bit further away from body. Where does the head sit on top of the cervical spine with soft jaw, and the kidneys and the kidney meridian lines from the bubbling brooks of our feet through the inner arches, inner legs, inner thighs, up through sides of spine to the collarbones, underneath the collarbones. Soft, voluminous kidneys, communicating with that long and deep back of waist place. Soothing. Soft groins, free rooting tail, and the meridian line, now awareness of kidneys. And then slowly unraveling this leg. And how is it to be here now in Sphinx? Soft groins, long rooting tail, free. Soft backs of your thighs, soft backs of deep knees, deep ankles, wide open feet. For the feedback loop coming back up. Tail, long and deep back of waist. The kidneys being breathed. There's no collapse. There's no dropping out through the ribs and so collapsing in that place in the thoracic, causing a division in spine. Thoracic spiraling up. Long neck, long head. Pubic bone soft, tone of front body, alive front spine, alive lateral spine, alive back spine, three-dimensionality. Great, and then let's slide onto our side. Bring that lower leg knee up, and from this long rooting leg, rooting tail, deep, deep belly pelvis. The arms follow, they don't push us up. And coming back to this place, reconnecting to those bubbling brooks, the base of the balls of the feet, soft kidneys, voluminous, trillions of communities of cells, liquid, alive softness. Soothing, stabilizing, this deep yin, home, nourishment the kidneys offer to our psyche. And this time, just being aware of these meridian lines and soft inner thighs, and legs that are not going to pull and push and create taking away in your lumbar or taking away from the kidneys. It's gentle rocking, gentle rotation, contacting with the base of the feet, that bubbling brook meridian line origin origin up through the inner legs, soft inner thighs, meridian line through inner groins, up through the collarbones. Legs not taking away from lumbar, from kidneys. Soft sleeves of your legs. Let arms and hands support. Feeling the flow of the meridian line. Feeling its flow and presence. All the way underneath, all the way underneath the collarbones. Until maybe the next time we come to one side, this leg resting near this foot. We brought this hand to this knee without taking away, no taking away from kidneys, no taking away from lumbar. That deep, long opening in the back of your waist lumbar, waiting for it patiently. Curious, and we wait, honouring that place, honouring kidneys, over pulling and pushing ourselves into the twist, finding softness and release through the legs, gathering into the two sides of pelvis. For these lateral side bodies and gills of a fish, soft, sliding, gliding upper lobes. Here, very easy to start noticing, where over time, if there's been pulling and pushing through the shoulder girdle to get yourself into a twist or any other position, tension, not freedom. And slowly coming back. And offering then on this side, could we undo this leg? This femur bone still gathering into acetabulum, not stretching, these meridian lines still flowing, so that we could start to move ourselves towards pigeon. These yielding lower arms on the earth, finding that long leg. The rotation, imagining from this inner thigh of the lower leg, this rotation over the inner thigh, around the outside edge of the thigh and back underneath, this spiraling, so that we don't create damage in the knee over time. And we need this outwards and underneath, over the inner thigh, outwards, the outside edge of thigh and back underneath, spiraling. Evenness through both sides of your pelvis. At first tucking that long back leg toes under, finding inner ankle and outer ankle, the inner leg, and those bubbling brooks again. Can we find them feeding up through the groin, sides of spine, to the collarbones, feeling the presence. So evenness through the sides, both sides of pelvis. We don't want one side of pelvis dropping, one side of pelvis being brought, rotating forwards and up. This kidney meridian line. Oh, shuffle myself forwards here so I have room. And then we can take that long leg foot long. Soft fronts of groins, femur bones gathering up into the hips for freedom, for sacrum. And then maybe you want to walk up onto your hands without going into your lower back and kidneys. Thoracic spine spiraling, long and deep back of waist. So that those groins soften towards the earth, pelvic bones, long and deep back of waist. Spiraling upwards of thoracic, cervical, long reach of your head. And then slowly, slowly coming out. And how might it be then to come to the other side? First of all, coming back to here. I'm going to change my direction so you can see me. Finding the bubbling brooks first, and this gentle rotation, inner thighs, soft sleeves of your legs, wide open feet, legs, they're meeting with the earth, feedback loop. When you're ready, you come to this side, and maybe this leg resting, this foot resting on the other foot, and that hand or your knee. And that breath, that in-breath down into your deep root. out breath. Spreading into the earth. In breath into deep root. Out breath, spreading wide and into the earth. And there's no taking away from number. There's no tensing through your lateral side bodies. Lower lobes, middle lobes, upper lobes, sliding and gliding on one another. For freedom in the ribs. For freedom of your thoracic spine. No taking away from the kidneys. We wait. We wait. And it comes to us. And then so from here, how would it be to explore changing position, legs still gathering into hips, lateral side bodies, there's room for your kidneys, not taking away from front of pelvis and belly, not taking away from kidneys or lumbar. Where do the elbows want to be? Yielding hands and wrists, and remembering this front leg, that spiraling from underneath the thigh over the top of the inner thigh, the outside edge and back under. This femur to collect and to protect our knee. Wide open feet, those bubbling brooks. Inner ankle, outer ankle, for inner leg and outer leg. For eventually then this back leg to slide away. It seems to slide away. Soft back of your thigh, knee, deep ankle, foot, the feet back up. And evenness through both sides of your pelvis. Evenness, not one side dropping. Maybe you find a place, kidneys free, thoracic spiraling, cervical spine lengthening, finding that place at the base of your head where the spine meets the base of the head. And then slowly coming out. And coming towards the completion. And before we do come down to Shavasana, how is it to sit? Please bring a blanket underneath your knees if your knees are hovering up off the earth. Otherwise, there's just tension from where we may have created new space and pathways of connectivity, of movement, this inherent connectivity and relationship of movement, of fluid communicating cells. It's organizing. How is front body tone but not holding ourselves up? For mid body to be our place of support, back body communicating with space, wide back of head, wide back of heart, wide back of waist, and of course these legs yielding to the earth. Soft side of right pelvis, soft side of left pelvis, soft lower pelvis, navel through to pubic bone long. Sit bones resting on the earth in a dance and a dialogue. And maybe we can collect this knee in and under and bring this foot. Find again as these bubbling brooks, meridian lines up through the inner leg, inner thigh, groin, under the collarbones. And then wrapping this arm. And again, no, it's not the shoulder girdle that's going to do it. Or over time, your yoga practice will just create tension in neck, arms. It's from the feet, this softness, lateral side bodies, gills of a fish, hand resting on earth, communicating with the earth. Bring a block there underneath your hand if you need to. No squeezing the shoulder blades, please. And having done all that work today, maybe it just reveals itself to you, this unraveling. Meridian lines of kidneys through inner thighs, inner arches of feet, inner legs, inner thighs, up through sides of spine, up to the collarbones, underneath collarbones, and this room for your kidneys. Lateral side bodies, breathing, lobes of lungs, all the way to soft sides of neck. And slowly undoing, feeling soft pulsations, tiny breaths through this midline, undoing the legs, feeling this connection, deep thighs, communicating with earth. So any tension in legs that can be so held in these quadriceps, starting their dissolving. So this inner movement underneath can bring us and open the posture to us. Let's collect this leg under and the other leg at the top. Finding the bubbling brooks, inner thighs, sides of spine, collarbones, meridian line of kidneys, And those kidneys having so much space and volume. Awake feet, soft breathing soles of feet, deep ankles, soft inner groins, this side body spiraling, gills of a fish connecting, long and deep back of waist opening, the thoracic spine to spiral, cervical spine included, patience, slowly coming back. Bringing the legs long. So much room. And to complete, taking something heavy, maybe it's some blankets. I have a bolster here, or maybe it's sandbags, and lying down and bringing your bolster, your sandbags, your blankets, that's something heavy, onto belly. Yes. And arms out to the sides, palms facing up. Let your ankles fall out to the sides and legs, soft and free all the way up into acetabulum, into pelvis. Soft eyes, dropping into back of head, soft cheeks, soft temple bones, soft ears, ears that maybe fall, melt earthbound as you soften your jaw, letting the lower jaw melt away, upper mouth soft, lower mouth soft, sides of your mouth soft, tongue resting, and the bottom of your tongue deep down into the bottom of your jaw, really soft, relaxed. Sacrum rested, connecting with that deep root in pelvis, deep soft folds of your feet, and the coming and going of your breath in deep belly. And letting your exhalation for a while be longer than your in-breath. No straining, but just following the wave of your out-breath to its end. falls back. Front pelvis to back of the pelvis, out breath. Emptying. All the way through lumbar spine to tail. Three or four more of those out breaths. Dropping front pelvis to back of pelvis, spiraling through lumbar to tail. Pausing at the tail. In breath coming in. Exhaling away. And after a few breaths, resting, and simply rest in deep belly, magnetic place. Nothing to do but rest, received by these unconditional hands of earth underneath you. Two huge unconditional hands of earth coming up to support you and hold you. Taking as much time as you need. Nothing to do but rest. So slowly, excuse me, slowly, in your own time, to make the transition gently bringing a few gentle breaths, taking away the sandbag or bolster or blankets, bending your knees and placing your feet on the earth. Remembering the earth underneath supporting you, and the time of day, where you are, space around you, people accompanying you perhaps. And then rolling over onto your side. And feeling that support of the ground. Feeling that yielding to the earth, including the head. So that, as we did a few times today, it can be that long leg, that rooting of the tail, the awakening of your spine, the lightness of your head to bring you up as you root, and the arms simply follow your spine, light and free, at ease. And coming in to sit in a comfortable seated posture. Feeling your base, your seat, your place on earth. And this beautiful body being breathed. Smooth breath. So, thank you for your practice and your presence. Be well. Namaste. Thank you.